everyone wants to, we on? Oh wait, so we were having a discussion this morning among staff about how we have to instruct everyone to speak into the microphones and project their voice. How does it sound, Jill? Okay. So I better model the way because we were hearing from people. They can't hear. If you can't hear, how do you participate? So can everyone hear? So please grab, if you haven't grabbed anything, coffee, snacks. They'll be there after as well. My name's Bob Nisbet. I'm going to put it down. Can I still project from here? Does it still work? My voice usually projects. My name's Bob Nisbet. I'm the city manager for Half Moon Bay. This morning, when I introduced myself to some folks, I said I was the new city manager, and then after I said that, I caught myself and said, okay, that's the last time I'm going to say new. So I didn't say it this time. So I'm just delighted to be here because this is my first State of the City, and we do this every year, is my understanding. So here we are as the calendar year wraps up, and at this time we have an event like this so we can deliver a presentation on how things are going and where things are going. And I think you're going to find that the state of the city is pretty good. As everyone knows, though, we do work on a fiscal year. We actually, July 1st through June 30th, financially, so it's a little odd, but the point of this is looking back at the calendar year and looking forward. A lot has happened this year. I'm learning. I'm hearing about all these things. Certainly for me, one of the things that happened was actually being hired as the city manager, and just so happy that that happened. It's not me, is it? No. And just really glad to be here and can't wait to move here. So again, excited to be here introducing our mayor, Deborah Penrose, who is just elected council for another 4 years. Definitely worth an applause, is here to give you the state of the city. Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Bob. Hello, everyone. I'm going to be reading from a script because it's too many words for me to memorize, so I apologize ahead of time. I want to say hello to some of the people here that are very, very important to this city and have made this city what it is. We have Council Member Debbie Ruddock, Council Member-elect Robert Johnson, and then we have some wonderful staff here. You've met Bob. We have Jennifer Chong, raise your hand, John Dowdy, Sarah Williams, Paula Crow, Jill Agus, and did I miss anybody? Oh, Matt Chittister, yay. Okay, we don't have any Hispanic folks here tonight, so I'm not going to translate this into Spanish. I'm just going to say hello and welcome to the State of the City 2018. I'm Mayor Deborah Penrose. We've done a lot this past year. It's been a really fabulous year. I think it's a new beginning for our city is what I'm hoping. I believe that we're more transparent than we've ever been. I think we are much better organized. We are in good financial shape, and we've got some great plans. And most important of all, we have very, very good community engagement. And if I do anything in my next 4 years on council, it's going to be to increase the amount of community engagement, because nobody wants to live in a city where they don't have a say in how the city is run. It's your tax dollars that support us, so, you know, speak up. Let us hear what you want. And it doesn't matter whether you agree or disagree. We got to hear what you got to say. Okay, so I'm going to start off by talking about some of the city's efforts to support our strategic elements. Now, what that means is we start each year as a council sitting down at a retreat and saying, what's our strategic plan? What are the things that we want to accomplish? And we have a bunch of categories to look at. So that's the way we'll be organizing it tonight. Our first thing that we'll be talking about is the strategic element of infrastructure and environment. The city delivered on major capital projects. Our biggest one was the Half Moon Bay Library. We successfully opened 22,000 square feet on the coast side of library. We did it on time and on budget. We began pavement rehabilitation and reconstruction, including Magnolia Street, Church Street, Correa Street. We rehabilitated our city parking lots and made ADA improvements throughout the city. And we did a sewer bypass at Ocean and Miramontes. There are lots of things still in progress, and we've been waiting for a lot of them a long time, but it takes a long time to get things done in the city. Not through any fault of ours. It's the county, it's the funding, it's the grants, it's the CEQA, it's all of the things that you have to go through before you can actually begin construction on something. We've got the Main Street Bridge rehabilitation. We've got Highway 1 North and South safety projects, Kelly and Highway 1 stormwater diversion program, sidewalk removal and replacement project. We did a big survey on all the sidewalks in the city, those that are broken, those that are about to be broken, those that need removing, those that need repairing. Our Poplar Complete Street project, along with the Poplar Street Gateway plans, and also oversaw PG&E's gas main replacement program. Next slide. Okay. Major environmental programs in the past year. We continue to improve and expand on our ongoing and preventive maintenance efforts. So we're trying to fix the infrastructure that we have as well as build new infrastructure. We formulated and implemented a coastside cleanup program with Abundant Grace. So now we are actually employing some of our homeless, getting them paid, giving them some dignity, giving them jobs, and getting the beaches cleaned up. We're going to expand that program this year to include downtown city streets, I'm hoping. We also implemented year one of our solid waste franchise agreement, including household waste and e-waste events. We negotiated an updated sewer collection contract with Mark Thomas and Sam. And the most important probably thing that we've done for our future is updated our LCP through a lot of work by our city staff. It's been a tremendous effort, lots of overtime, lots of working double time, and we've got a comprehensive bike and pedestrian plan and a land use plan which includes amazing maps of the city and the city's environmental issues. We've got a completed Parks master plan, and in addition to the bicycle and ped master plan, Parks and Recs worked on that, Planning Commission and City Council worked on it. Currently we're completing our CEQA for both of our master plans. So once CEQA is done, then they'll be in place. Our city attorney and community development department worked together on the accessory dwelling unit ordinance, which is going to be very helpful and help to increase the number of homes available for people in the city. We partnered, I guess next slide. We partnered with Half Moon Bay History Association in opening the jail to the public, and the History Association has formed a committee which is working on funding for expanding the History Museum into the Johnston Barn behind. We've got architectural ideas and plans for that going. We also improved access to our facility rentals, and we increased the use of all of our city facilities. Next slide. Another strategic element is healthy communities and public safety. The city contracts with the Sheriff's Office for our police services. The average response time to emergency calls for service in Half Moon Bay was 3 minutes and 23 seconds. 4 minutes is considered acceptable. The average response time to low priority calls for service was 11 minutes and 18 seconds, even better than last year. There were 0 formal service-related complaints received by the Sheriff's Office during this reporting period. Next slide. We drafted the Smoking Ordinance and Tobacco Retailers Ordinance, which respectively restrict smoking in public places and prohibit sales of flavored tobacco products and all tobacco sales in pharmacies. We drafted and provided legal support for the 5 cannabis ballot measures. The nursery ordinance cannabis tax are the 2 that passed, and the 3 advisory measures did not. Housing is part of healthy communities. Several departments worked hard along with local nonprofits on the successful Pillorcitos Creek homeless encampment cleanup and connected individuals to services. We're continuing our ongoing efforts to help the homeless and find long-term solutions to the homelessness problem. The Sheriff's Office works actively with the homeless outreach team, attending monthly case management meetings as well as participating on the oversight committee. So all of our homeless have visits from the Sheriff's Department, from the services available from the county on a monthly basis. This past year, we listened to you. We conducted community conversations about housing, utilized grant funding and support from Home for All of San Mateo County to conduct significant community engagement about housing, insecurity, affordability, and other options. We hosted 4 city council listening sessions. These were part of development of our strategic plan. One was completely in Spanish, as well as public city council strategic planning session to hear, consider, and incorporate community concerns and our priorities into the city's budget and the priorities for fiscal year 2017-18. Next slide. There they are. We partnered with Cabrillo Unified School District and the Sheriff's Athletic League program to host the Youth Summit at Cunha Middle School. This is a wonderful program. It helps more than 100 Coastside 8th graders get into high school in a nice, easy transition. SAL, the Sheriff's Activity League, support many youth programs on the coast. This year, a group of 20 teens, as you can see up here on the slide, visited Washington, D.C. Pretty exciting. Okay, we revamped and improved Concerts in the Park, our music series. We drew several hundred visitors to 4 separate concerts in McDutra Park over the summer. We hosted the very first annual Summer's End Music Festival as a conclusion to the Concert in the Park music series. There were 500 visitors to that particular event. It was in late September at Carter Park. And we're going to be working on updating Carter Park so we can hold even bigger and better things there. We also added 13 new contract recreation programs. Next slide. The last strategic element I'll talk about is inclusive governance. We continue to increase trust and improve relationships with the community. Transparent communication, more community outreach, and improved accessibility to City Hall staff. We hear nothing but good things about how the city staff is responding when people walk in off the street. So that's pretty exciting. We partnered with multiple charter schools to provide educational recreation program for Coastside students, partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of the Coastside for several special events, and reestablished the Teen Center at the Ted Adcock Building for after school. Increased community partnerships through collaboration with nonprofits and other government agencies on a variety of projects. Part of what we do is financial giving. This year, the city provided more than $125,000 in funding to nonprofits and community-based organizations serving Half Moon Bay through our Community Services Financial Aid Grant Program. This was the first year for that, and we're hoping to expand it next year. I'm hoping to expand it next year. We continue the success of the NET program, our Community Civics Academy, and everybody who hasn't been part of that should be. Our Public Works Department and Sheriff's Office both supported special events: Art and Pumpkin Festival, Night of Lights, 4th of July Parade, Shamarita Parade, the Half Moon Bay Triathlon, Santa on the Coast, and National Night Out. We transitioned the NPDES inspection program from San Mateo County to the city. It's a contracted service. We awarded and implemented new collections cleaning contracts with Sam and Mark Thomas and Company. We obtained release of claims following threat of litigation based on the city's at-large elections. So we are going from at-large elections to district elections. It was a big year in elections. We had a wonderful elections night out, which was great. There were 5 candidates, 5 measures on the November 6th ballot. We adopted an ordinance for electronic filing of campaign statements, and pretty impressive, 79% voter turnout, the highest in Half Moon Bay City. Pretty amazing. Slide 14. Okay. City staff worked many hours this year getting our policies and records organized. You can look up there and see those boxes. Our city clerk's office managed the strike team through inventorying 500 off-site boxes, scanned all building permits into Laserfish, 50 boxes in total. A lot of work. Created the legislative history room, which includes all resolutions, ordinances, and minutes. So public access to public records is going to be easy. We're not going to be getting people complaining that they don't know what went on or what's going on. It's going to be easy to access through our wonderful website. We drafted the city's legislative platform and updated the city's contracting and bid protest procedures. Next slide. This past year was a time of transition for our city staff. We filled many roles and changed the way we structured our departments. Following reorganization, which established the Community Development Department separate from Public Works, we hired new staff, including a planning associate, brought code enforcement in-house, and made other key changes to improve customer service without increasing the budget. Note that over half of the community development staff are co-siders, and that's another thing we're working on. We're going to get our city hall staffed by our city citizens. Yay! We successfully filled city engineer, public works superintendent, and maintenance worker 1 positions. We also brought in our new wonderful city manager, Bob Nisbet. Yay! We want Half Moon Bay to be an attractive place to work. This year, with the guidance of our city clerk, city staff created the Employee Engagement Initiative and formed the Employee Engagement Committee. It's an ongoing committee. We had a wonderful Christmas breakfast this morning with staff and council, and had a barbecue about a month and a half ago, which was really fun. The next strategic element I'm going to update you on is fiscal sustainability. This year we continued the trend of economic growth. Our finance department should be proud of their work on the budget book. We received 2 awards from the Government Finance Officers Association. One was Distinguished Budget Presentation Award. The second was Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. These are great awards to have. It shows you how good our accounting and auditing is. We prepared the city's comprehensive annual financial report, shortened called the CAFR, and we also prepared the PAFR, which is the popular annual financial report, a lot easier to read, shorter. Thank you to our city attorney's office, Shute, Mihaly, and Weinberger, who protected the city financially by obtaining dismissals of 2 lawsuits against the city. They also provided legal support to the city's efforts to begin to enforce its TOT, or Transient Occupancy Tax, ordinance with respect to short-term rentals here in the city. The revenue that we collected from the transient occupancy tax was $5,014,740 as of September. At the end of the year, we projected to be $6,719,392. Pretty good. We need the Ritz to stay out of the ocean, on the bluffs, right? Keep your fingers crossed. Our Public Works Department submitted 12 grant applications. Of those, they were awarded 5, totaling $1,124,999 in grant money. So that's about wraps it up. That's about all I have to say. It's time for questions. No questions. It's time to eat and drink then. Thank you all. It was wonderful. Okay. Yay!